I started playing guitar when I was about 15. I had been interested in music forever. I raised in a household that listened to music a lot. My mother listened to classical music, my dad listened to big band, and my sister listened to popular music at the time. So I was just surrounded by music. I got very, very interested in blues at an early age. I discovered Robert Johnson at the age of 14 and just fell in love with what he did. At that time, I was playing drums in the school band, and by the time I was 14, 15, I realized that it was easier to impress girls with a guitar than it was with drums, and it was a lot easier to carry around. So I started moving towards that. I still played drums for a long time, but I did more and more with guitar and started doing a lot of acoustic things. Did my first show for money when I was about 18, and haven't quit since then.
A wise man once told me, don't just settle for where you are. I keep my eyes on the horizon instead of looking at the ground. Not always sure where I'm going, but I'm always amazed at what I found. They say that wishes don't come true. They say that someday never comes. Here to say instead of giving up your dreams, go out and dream a bigger one. Gotta know when to fight. Gotta know when to give in. Giving in ain't giving up. It's a chance to start once again. So I'm just gonna keep on dreaming. Living past tomorrow with a grin. Moving on towards better things instead of living back where I've been. Say that wishes don't come true. They say that someday never comes. I'm here to say instead of giving up your dreams, go out and dream a bigger one.
Guitar is such a versatile instrument, and there's two basic styles that really influence me, and I don't know if it's the style as much as it's the tone, but a clean electric guitar is hard to beat. Listen to B.B. King's tone, and that's what I like to hear. I like to hear that clean, rich. I heard it described best as if you cut into a freshly baked loaf of bread, and that smell you get. That's the sound I want to hear from an electric guitar, not a chainsaw. An acoustic is the same kind of thing, but I've always been stylistically been a fan of fingerpicking. It's used in so many different styles, and it's a versatile way to go, and that's kind of where I started, so I've stuck with that.
Living on the edge of a razor, keeping things from falling apart. Pushing hard to keep things moving like she must. Winning, but it almost breaks my heart. The candle's burning hard at both ends. She's gotta let some good things slip away. Keeps her head up high to keep her dreams alive.
My main acoustic guitar right now is this Gibson parlor guitar, although I often use a Gibson J45 as well. I like the sound, the feel, and the consistency of it. Nice thing about a Gibson is that it's a playable guitar as soon as you pick it up, whereas there's other guitars that the best thing to do is stick them under a bed and leave them there for 5 years, and then they stop trying to be a tree. But I also have to admit a bias toward Gibson because they were from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'm from that area. I lived in Kalamazoo, and there's an affinity to that. So electric guitars, I use a Gibson. I use a 339, which is a smaller version of a 335, and I dearly love it. I've got other guitars, but those are my go-to.
Face the facts. That was only the song. There's facts I've been ignoring way too long. My heart tells me that I'm still a kid. And my body reminds me all them bad things I did. Now I'm catching up with everything I ever done wrong. Now moving around ain't as easy as it used to be. All those slips and falls, they're catching up with me. I wonder if I could make the moves I used to do with that wonder. That's what keeps me from moving on you. I'm afraid the world I want, something I ain't ever gonna see. Well, tell me why they gotta waste youth on the young. They don't know how good they got it now till it's already gone. They're having their fun, yeah, I had mine, but damn, I'd like to have me just a little more time. I've had a lifetime of long, long nights. Now in the morning, I just can't feel right. It still feels good to be singing the blues. When I walk off the stage, I feel like I've been abused. When I'm looking at my future, it don't seem so bright. Well, tell me why they gotta wait. Youth on the young, and they don't know how much they got it, till it's already gone. They're having their fun, I've had mine,
I'd like to have me just a little more time. Just a little more time. That's all I want. Just more time. One more time. Wow. There have been a few. I've been lucky to share the stage with quite a few amazing people. But the ones who really have the most influence on me, certainly Victor Wainwright. Victor he's an amazing friend. He's been on a number of my albums. He's inspired a lot of the songs I've written. But on stage, he just glows. And he's a performer. He said this one time in a little workshop at a festival, that he said, I never forget that I'm an entertainer, and I entertain you with my music, but I'm not going to call myself a musician. I'm an entertainer. And so when I'm on stage, I have to be that way as well. I'm not there to wow you with how great I am. I want you to have fun. I certainly need to be engaged with the audience. And again, putting on a show. Bobby Rush, sharing a stage with Bobby Rush. Well, that is a rush. I mean, he's just so amazing. Gosh, where do I start? There have been so many people, from Zach Harmon and Lil Ed and the Imperials. And of course, people like Jeff Jensen, who I perform with a lot. Brandon Santini. Brandon can light up a crowd. He's fun to work with. Greg Nagy. There are so many people. And I can mention some of the people I've shared a stage with. There was B.B. King that time and others, but it's the musicians that are at that level of me and one or two rungs above that I really learn the most from and enjoy being with the most. They're just, the blues community is a family, and everybody gives willingly and loves to see everyone else's success. So I think just that, what a blessing to be in this community.
If you're looking for a man to stay by your side, to be with you forever and make you his bride, you better look somewhere else while you can. I only want to be your alternative man. I'm your alternative man. Yeah, I'm here when your man ain't around. I ain't looking for forever, just for a good time. So don't go asking me to toe no line. I don't want to be part of your long-term plan. I only want to be your alternative man. I'm your alternative man. Yeah, I'm here when your man's away. I ain't the type to stick and stay. Now I'm here to have a good time and be on my way. You wanna be with me, you gotta know I'm gonna love you for a while, then I gotta go. man ain't around, I can give you what you need. Give you more than you ever had, that's guaranteed. But I won't give you no dime and I'll ask you for your hand. I only want to be your alternative man. I'm your alternative man. Yeah, I'm here when your man ain't enough. I'm your alternative man. Oh, baby, I got the good stuff.
My record company is called Endless Blues Records. Part of the overall company is Endless Blues Productions. It was actually started to promote shows. I started it with my brother-in-law, Ted Todd, who passed away quite a few years ago now. I kept it going, and after doing a few records of my own, and using Jeff Jensen's label as a way to get it out there, I decided to start Endless Blues Records. My first album I ever did without Jeff, so that seemed to be a good way to do it. So, but over the years, had some fascinating sessions. All my recording, for the most part, has been done in Memphis. Many of my first albums were all cut at Ardent Studios, a legendary studio. A lot of the old Stax things were recorded at Ardent, and virtually everybody has recorded there. In fact, one time I had to cut a session short so Stevie Wonder could come in and use the studio. The deal was I had to be able to watch, though. So, but working with a number of musicians in the studios have been a lot of fun. Some with again, I've done so many albums with Jeff Jensen as part of it, and the only person other than myself who's been on every one of my albums is a guy named Eric Hughes, an amazing singer, guitarist, and harmonica player, and a heck of a songwriter. So when I decided to start my own label with Endless Blues, I said, well, you know, I can reach out to a lot of friends. By then, I'd done 6 or 7 albums, and so I'd made all the mistakes you could, I thought. So I put the label together with the intent of helping my friends avoid some of those mistakes and help them to get their albums done in a more professional manner and get out there. Now, I do have to say that we insist on a higher level of production standards than we hear in a lot of albums that are out there now, but that's just what we're going to do. Brad Blackwood, who's mastered every album I've done and most of the albums for the label, is the guy who just mastered the new live album for Prince that has just been released. So lucky enough to work with people of that caliber. So I started the label to help my friends and to help independent musicians enjoy some of the benefits of a label, and just get some advice from some folks. So I think that Eric Hughes and Tully Bray and Tennessee Redemption, Jeff Jensen and Brandon Santini's, they were the first other artists who came on board with me. Another was, excuse me, another is Kern Pratt. Kern was a wonderful friend from southern Mississippi, Greenville, and we just hit it off really well. Had a lot of good times together, and so we decided to release an album for him. Unfortunately for all of those artists I just mentioned, COVID came along and shut down live performances, and the fact of the matter is you sell CDs at live performances, and without that it was really tough. I mean, I will never make the money back for those albums, but I'm sure glad I did them. We lost Kern to COVID in that, so probably never have a chance to sell more of his CDs, really. But with people like Tully Bray and Eric Hughes, Tennessee Redemption, in layman's terms, a great group out of Virginia, young kids that I've known for a long time. Sister Lucille, a band out of Missouri who are focused on Memphis, and they've produced some pretty nice stuff. Working with other people, Dexter Allen and Chris Gill, amazing musicians. And so the roster is getting pretty big. We've started to work with some other folks. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. Unlike other labels, I just want to try to make my money back. I don't want to try to make money on, from my friends. So I don't control the publishing. They get to keep that. And once an album has paid for itself, I just turn it all back over to the artist. So, and we work to try to help them get promoted, get things going. My goal in opening the label, starting it, was to lose as little money as possible. Well, I've just wrapped up the recording of 2 albums. My 11th album coming out is called I'm Just Getting Started. That'll be released mid-July. Now, at the same time I was recording that, I was working on an acoustic album. And that's called, they call me Uncle Mick, as many folks do, especially from Mississippi. That's a totally acoustic album. That'll be out in August. I want to mention on those albums, and I'm Just Getting Started, Dexter Allen, who, an artist on my label, a great friend, almost a partner on the label. Dexter was Bobby Rush's lead guitar player for a number of years, and we're planning on doing some gigs together. Later this year, I'll go with his band and we'll do Bradfordville Blues Club and Camping with the Blues. But we've known each other and worked together, on things for a long time. So Dexter came, and he played bass, and he's an amazing bass player. But he also did some guitar on it. I brought in John Blackman, a drummer who I've toured with extensively and recorded with before, and he's just an amazing guy to work with. And then you can't beat having Jeff Jensen and Bill Ruffino. But we also brought in other folks. Rick Steff, an amazing keyboard player, and I'm blessed to be in Memphis where I have access to the Bo Keys, Mark Franklin and Kirk Smothers. We've had a lot of good stuff, brought in some other things. On the acoustic album, it's been really interesting. The first thing we did was bring in a jazz drummer and an upright bass player and cut the rhythm tracks with scratch for vocal and guitar. And then Jeff and I came back in and added guitar. I was lucky to have some friends stop in. A guy by the name of Doug McLeod played guitar on a couple of the songs. Watermelon Slim joined me on our version of the song Woodstock, which we turned into a blues number. Chris Gill plays some guitar on it, and Bobby Rush plays harmonica on a song. So talk about being blessed. But as soon as I get back to Memphis next Tuesday night, Thursday I have a gig in Oxford, Mississippi, kind of a homecoming thing because I lived in Oxford for 30 years. Then I'm jumping right back into the studio because I've got 2 more albums to do this year. One will be working with a gentleman named Mario Monterosso, who an amazing, very jazz-influenced guitarist from Italy, but living in Memphis. And we'll do an album of old blues songs, T-Bone Walker, Lowell Fulson type songs. And the title for that album will be When Blues Was Cool. And we're going to play them the way they're supposed to be. Then I'm going to do an album of all love songs, and it'll divert from blues a little bit. And that'll be called For the Feral Heart. And if I keep going, I'll find another album to do this year yet. I'm also going to be working with a couple artists on their albums. I've got a couple of festivals coming up. One called the Better Fest, B-E-T-O-R, in Memphis. I'll be going to the North Atlantic Blues Festival not as an artist, but to work with the kids at the Mid-Coast Music Academy to help them as they get ready to do their set in the North Atlantic Festival. Paul Benjamin has had the kids come in and open Sunday's show for years, so I'll go and work with them. Really looking forward to that. And then I've got some scattered things coming up, but it's mostly going to be focusing on getting these new records together and releasing the ones I've got. The first gig lasted just a little too long. They kept on asking for one more song. I ran like hell to make the second show. I hit the ground running, now I'm walking kind of slow. Started out good, but now I ain't that great. Because it's tired and I'm getting late. You know the sun's coming up and I need to lay down. Been all over this crazy old town. You know, I've been playing the blues, sipping on shine. Been on my feet the whole damn time. Could have held off, but I just couldn't wait. Now it's tired and I'm getting late. Well, one long night I thought I'd give it a try. Now I can't even keep open just one eye. Gave it a shot, but I should have known. And I'm trying to drag my old ass home. Love my music, it's this stuff I hate. Because it's tired and I'm getting late.